There's a famous quote that says, "In any given moment, we have two options: to step forward into growth or step back into safety." And what I've learned about growth is that it requires change. Sometimes it's a big change, like picking up your entire life and moving it somewhere new. Other times it's a small change, like replacing negative self-talk with daily affirmations. But I understand that change is hard. And if you're watching this, I bet you probably feel the same. So today, I want to share a few changes I've made in my life that can hopefully inspire you to step forward instead of stepping back. All right. Okay, what is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. As I'm sure you saw in the beginning of this video, this one is all about change. And I know change can be really tough at times, but I think it's a very necessary part of growth. So yeah, I just want to dive into that in this video and share some of my stories and experiences. But before I do that, I just want to ask if you guys could subscribe to the channel. If this content resonates with you, if the message resonates with you, then it really goes a long way. It helps me grow. It helps me spread these messages and hopefully empower others. That's the reason this channel exists. So yeah, just wanted to pop in there real quick to say that. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you have watched a few of my videos before, welcome back. So yeah, let's dive into this. I'm basically going to share a few different experiences and stories that I've had in my life where I've experienced a lot of change, but also in turn have experienced a lot of growth. And hopefully these stories inspire you guys or motivate you guys to embrace change instead of shying away from it, because like I said, I think it's a really, really integral part of our evolution and development. So yeah, let's dive right into it. Let's start with the first one being one of the biggest changes I've ever made in my life, which was leaving my 9-to-5 job. So for people that don't know my backstory, I actually grew up in Toronto and I studied architecture in school. So growing up, I was always very artistic. I always loved drawing. I always loved painting. And yeah, I always just loved using my creativity. And as I developed as a kid and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, my dad was always in the construction industry. So he was around architects all the time and designers, and ultimately he pushed me down that path. And I took architecture in school, graduated, worked in the field for 3 years. It was probably around mid-COVID when I realized that time is so precious, and at some point in my life, I think it was third year university, is when I picked up a camera and I realized how much I loved photography. I ultimately was just like, life is too short. I am going to try and make my passion my career. So I ended up kind of just getting laid off from my job, and I just went full in. I just tried to learn business. I tried to just ultimately make the thing that I loved my career. So leaving that 9-to-5 job was scary, obviously, because I was getting rid of the stability that came with that job. I was making good money too, so it was kind of just like I'm taking a huge pay cut and a lot of risk to take a gamble on myself and to try and do something that I love. So huge change, but honestly, getting into this world of business has been so fulfilling. Just even learning all the different things that come with business teaches you so much, not only about yourself, but also about the world. So yeah, it's been honestly one of the most rewarding decisions I've ever made. And obviously business right now is going really well, which I am super grateful for. But yeah, you never know at the start, it requires a lot of courage and you're taking a big risk, but at the end of the day, it just comes down to embracing the discomfort. So yeah, that's definitely been a huge one, has been leaving my 9-to-5 job to pursue something that I felt would be more fulfilling. A lesson that I do want to share with that is that there never is a perfect time to start. I think this is something that a lot of people wait for, is that they're like, I'm just not ready, I wasn't ready either, there's no sense waiting for it. The best time to start is now, and you kind of just have to dive in. There's also a philosophy that goes something like one day or day one, which means that you can operate off of two different mindsets. One day, which is like, one day I'll do it, or you can operate off of day one. Today is day one of me starting my new life, of starting this new routine, starting this new habit. So which one are you choosing, I guess, is the question. But yeah, there's no perfect time to start. Hopefully this is motivation to you to just start, because I think it's, it just becomes a snowball effect after that. But yeah, that's the first one I'll share, is that leaving my 9-to-5 job, probably the biggest change I've ever made in my life. Okay, and then another huge change that I made in my life just over a year ago was actually moving my entire life across the country. So like I said at the beginning of this video, I grew up in Toronto, which is on the eastern side of Canada, and ultimately a big part of like who I am, I think, was missing, because every time I would travel to the West Coast, I just realized how much I embraced the lifestyle, how much I just felt like me in the mountains and when I was hiking and camping. And I feel like a big part of that was missing in where I was currently living. So I ultimately decided, let's move, So we ended up moving across the country, packed the U-Haul van, and yeah, we ultimately kind of we settled out here. So now my current home is in Alberta, and I've been loving every minute of it, just being able to drive to the mountains in 45 minutes, go for a hike, do some backcountry camping. It's just a lifestyle that feels really aligned with me, and it's been a huge change, obviously, in my life, but I think one that has made a world of difference, not only for my own personal well-being, but also for my business. Business has thrived out here because a lot of the clients that I was targeting and wanted to work with, they're like outdoor lifestyle brands, and it's very easy to shoot for that lifestyle and to capture content around that lifestyle out here. So it all just kind of fell into place. It all just fits. And it was a change that was really hard, obviously, because I had to leave family and friends behind, but they're just a call away, I think it was the right move for me. So just wanted to share that one with you. And I think the lesson that I learned on this one is to bet on yourself, do what feels right to you, because life is too short not to. So it was something that I was thinking about for years, and I would have been kicking myself if I never at least tried to see what life was like in a different place. That was a big one. Okay, and number 3 is a huge mindset shift, which was embracing vulnerability instead of perfection. So for a long time, especially in the world of content creation and putting myself out there, putting my work out there, like so much of my early career was operated on the mindset that like everything needed to be perfect. If the visuals weren't perfect, I'm not even going to put it out. I struggled with putting myself in front of the camera, again, because I had this fear of being judged, or maybe people would think that I'm weird, or think that it's like awkward, or like for years I just fell into that mindset that it's too strange or too uncomfortable for me, so I'm just not going to do it. And if the visuals weren't perfect, if I didn't capture the perfect frame, if the color grading wasn't perfect, then I'm not even going to put that out. So that was a huge mindset shift for me, and I have to really give it to my girlfriend for pushing me to be more vulnerable and to embrace my quirky side, if you will, and just get in front of the camera a little bit more, because she even said it the first time she met me. She was like, there was so much about your personality that I just couldn't get from the content you were putting out. And I think that I think that was huge for me to hear, because it motivated me to start being more authentic online. So since deciding to show more of myself online, to be a little bit more vulnerable, it has actually opened the door to deeper connection. So I've created some really, really strong connections with people through social media, through the online world. So that's a huge positive to kind of that mindset shift for me. And I've experienced even greater growth, even on the business side. Like, it's opened up so many doors just, again, from me being willing to put myself out there in a genuine and authentic way. So if you're somebody that is struggling with putting yourself out there, maybe take this as motivation to be like, I can do it, So yeah, just wanted to share that one because I think that's been a really, really big change in my life from a mindset perspective, but it's also really translated into the connections that I have, the work that I do, and stuff like that. So number 4 has been shifting my brand and my business's focus away from just capturing travel and the outdoors to empowering others. And this has been huge. So to give you a bit of a backstory, when I first started creating content, I created travel content. So I traveled to Italy. It was the first time I traveled internationally. And that's when I really fell in love with photography. So I captured the landscapes, the urban life, the city, and I just kind of fell in love with capturing travel content. And then as soon as I started to get more into the outdoors, I did a couple road trips from where I was living in Toronto. And that's when I really started to capture the mountains and experience the mountains. And I just fell in love with landscape photography too. And that's how I originally started to build a bit of a following, was just through capturing the world, if you will. And yeah, I guess that's what I became known for, So anytime you become known for one thing, it feels a little bit daunting to switch gears because you're like, how are people going to react? So I didn't do it for a long time. And again, that story that I shared in the last one where Colleen essentially was like, you should share more of yourself online. I think that was a big motivator for me to start doing that. Now, so much of the content and the work that I do, creating videos like this, is to help empower other people, to help them experience authenticity and to experience meaningful growth in their lives. And I just get so much more fulfillment and joy out of that. Like when I get comments from people saying like, your work really hit me, this is something that I'm dealing with, and I'm glad to hear that I'm not alone. Like that goes so much farther than me sharing a landscape photo. Obviously I can still do that on my personal time, but I think deciding to change my message, my brand, and my business altogether has been really massive. If you do feel like you're in a place right now where you're like, my content and my brand is focused around one thing and I can't change it, people know me for that, I would argue that you most certainly can, because I have. And if there's a part of you that feels like is missing, or there's a message that you're really passionate about that you feel like you're holding back on telling, then I would say just dive right into it. The more consistent you get with spreading that message, the more people will resonate, and you will ultimately find that tribe. You will rebuild your audience around what you want to be known for. So I would encourage you to do that if you do feel like you're holding back. And one more thing I did want to share about this is that I had this limiting belief for so long that I wasn't good enough to help others, which is, I think, part of the reason why I didn't put that type of content out there. And huge kudos to my mentors for motivating me and pushing me in that direction by kind of just like reminding me of how much value I have to give to the world. But yeah, once I started to put that message out there, I realized how much it was helping other people. And ultimately it pushed me into doing stuff like one-on-one mentoring, which has been one of the most fulfilling things that I do in my business, is just helping other creative people find their way. And also hosting retreats, that was an opportunity that was born out of me just putting myself out there a little bit more. So yeah, it's been a huge change in my life, and I'm really grateful for all that it's brought me, just kind of embracing that change. So yeah, I figured I had to share that with you guys, especially if a good majority of you are creatives like me. So yeah, hopefully that one resonates. And I believe that's all I got for you today. But on the note of change, I just wanted to also mention that I am going to be making a few changes to this channel. So if you have watched a few of my videos, I am going to just be like tweaking things a little bit. If you have watched them, I'm sure you've gotten familiar with me sharing like the wins, the challenges, and just having those different segments in the videos. I think that is the part that I'm going to change a little bit, because I want to actually like give each video more thought ahead of time. You know, think about a concept or a topic that is really going to help my audience. Maybe it's something that you guys have already expressed interest in, and it's like, yeah, I'm just going to be changing, restructuring the videos a little bit. And again, it's just like, it just comes with awareness. I think so much of business too is just testing and adapting and evolving, trying new things. And sometimes the changes can feel difficult, but they're necessary. So, okay. And before I sign off, I want to give you something to ponder. This is something that I've done in all my videos, and I want to keep this part consistent. So it's a question that I have for you for the week. This week's question is, what is one change that you can make that will dramatically improve your life? Keeping it consistent with the theme of this video. But yeah, let me know what you think. It could be a small change, it could be a big change, but all change leads towards growth. So yeah, let me know what you're thinking down in the comments below. And yeah, if you have any things that you want me to focus on in a future video, or if you ever just want to chat and catch up and just connect, you can shoot me a DM on Instagram, and I love connecting with you guys. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope you got a ton of value out of it, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.